Thanks, Mark. So the cars on their green flag lap for the MSV Track Day Championship race, first round of the 2019 Championship. And some cars in positions that were earned by their co-drivers. So, for example, the car that's on pole position started by Ray Honeybone, but it was his son Jordan who put the car there. Not the race slow. Ray's been a stalwart of the series for many years, since the Track Day Trophy began. He was a participant in that, and now in the Track Day Championship we'll see him in the Track Day Trophy race later on. And James Goodall, we'll also see him out later on as well. But this is his first race of the day in the Volkswagen Golf. He's raced in the Volkswagen Racing Cup as well. An experienced Volkswagen racer. On the second row we've got Scott Parkin in the diesel Seat Ibiza, and beside him number 93 Kester Cook in what I believe is a new car for him. This is the Ford Fiesta. On the next row we've got the second of our Clios, I should say, number 12 Scott Thompson's car. He's, I think, starting in that car. I don't know that for certain. He's now got a co-driver in the person of Ben Johansson, and beside him is the number 116 Honda Civic of Colin Tester to begin with. So that's a car that could well be challenging for the lead early on in Colin Tester's hands. The grid looks to be complete as I gave it to you. The last few cars coming into position. The race duration 45 minutes. Mandatory pit stop at half distance. Or shortly before half distance. There was a pit stop window, of course. And everybody is there. I know the Lotus 7 looks a bit incongruous. Caterham, I mean, the Caterham Super 7, but sports cars are admitted as much as hot hatches, which is the majority of the grid. 5-second board held up. Now it's a big grid, 34 cars. Let's hope they can all get their way through Red Gate for the first time. Lights out. Off we go. Yes, Colin Tester makes a good start. Kester Cook doesn't get away at all. The car is stationary. Hopefully everybody will see it and there'll be no contact. Yes, one or two drivers saw it in plenty of time to slam on the brakes and ensure they weren't running into it, which means they got passed by a whole lot of other cars as well. As the cars go, it looks like Parkin, the red car of Scott Parkin, has taken the lead through Redgate for the first time. But the car, it's the green Clio, isn't it, that's pulled off?
Yeah, it's Pete Bennett from 10th position. Misfiring, Ian, and he's pulled off at the end of pit lane exit.
But the car that didn't leave the grid, because he must have been in the wrong gear, was Kester Cook, that caused the evasive action, and then he got stuck behind it, Pete Bennett, and is now, as you say, pulled off into the pit lane, Mark. So I think that problem could be resolved quite easily without need for a safety car. Meanwhile, out front is the red Seat. Oh, he's got going now. Reboots the computers on board, no doubt. And the leader, a line of, well, I was going to say 4 or 5 cars, it's actually longer than that, about the top 10 cars running line astern as they come out of Coppice and head towards the chicane for the first time. With, I reckon, from the second row, 113 Scott Parkin, who's grabbed the lead, the early lead. In second place is Ray Honeybone in the Clio, and then in third place is 116 Colin Tester in the Honda. In fourth place is 47 James Goodall's Volkswagen Golf. And in fifth place is number 12, the Scott Thompson Renault Clio. I'm assuming it's Scott Thompson in the car at the moment. And then behind him in sixth place, number 2, who started on the fifth row. A good first lap by Neil Clark in his Mini Cooper S. So a great variety of car as well in the top 6 or 7 places. Hardly two the same. So here's the car that got stuck behind Kester Cook's stationary car, Pete Bennett. The car then seemed to stall. He's now got going again. Kester Cook, meanwhile, number 93, came through in 24th place, having started on the second row. So it's cost him dear, that start that didn't quite come off properly. Well, it's a tight pack heading out of Coppice for the second time and down the straight into the chicane. have thought this was a 10-lap sprint, not a 45-minute mini endurance race as they come through. They've sorted themselves into the line of stuff, but Ray Honeybone having a bid to take the lead from 113 Scott Parkin. They're side by side into Redgate, and it's the red car on the inside that just about hangs on to the lead. But Ray Honeybone, assuming it is Ray in the car, we were told he was going to be the start driver, but Ray Honeybone really driving very well indeed. Perhaps Mark, if you have a moment, let's want to check whether we were told correctly. James Goodall up to third place in 47 in the Golf. In fourth place is number 12 Scott Thompson's Clio, and then in fifth place is the number 2 Mini Cooper S of Neil Clark. And Neil Clark in sixth place is number 53 Kevin Sterling's Renault Clio, who started on the fourth row.
And in answer to your question, yes, it is Ray Honeybone that is starting behind the wheel of that car. Jordan's on the pit wall.
Thanks very much, Mark. Well, that reassures us that Dad's going rather well, and he's switching from left to right as they come out of Coppice and down the straight towards the chicane to try and find a way past the leader, Scott Parkin, into the chicane. In a moment, we'll catch a glimpse. It's still the red car, still the red Seat in front of the Apple Car Centre Clio, which has actually dropped down to fourth place. So now challenging for the lead in second place is number 47 James Goodall, who started on the front row. So Ray Honeybone has dropped down to fourth. The leader continues to be Scott Parkin. James Goodall is second, and in third place is Colin Tester in the Honda. Although he is... Yes, his transponder's playing up, I think. That's why he's not being shown on the screen as being where he is on track. And Kester Cook, number 93, up to 17th place. 144, the delayed green Clio. That hasn't actually made much progress yet, but he was about half a lap behind once he got going. Fastest lap of the race has just been set by number 146, which is Simon Harrison in his Renault Clio. He's in 7th place, but he's just done the fastest lap, 123.182, slightly quicker than James Goodall in the second place Golf, number 47. The number 116 car not being recorded on the timing screens at the moment. Now side by side for the lead over the line. It's Parkin and Goodall, with 116 right in their wake as they head down towards Redgate. It's still the Seat on the inside line, and that's going to force James Goodall to go round the outside. He can't see. Colin Tester sees the gap and goes for it, goes up into second place as a result. But they're now side by side into the Craner curves for second place. But at the moment, 116 not being recorded on the timing screen. But it's very definitely there in second or third place. Third place. And Ray Honeybone closing... No, not Ray Honeybone. Ray Honeybone's actually... Yes, no, he is closing up. He's there in fourth place. Colin Tester still third. And the leaders coming through Coppice. It's still the very wide Seat, so Scott Parkin doing a good job of defending, and of course, that being a diesel engine car, it has got the torque, the traction out of the corners, which is a good way of getting onto the straight and staying in front of the opposition. So it's still just Scott Parkin in front. Ray Honeybone closing back up on the three leaders. James Goodall in second place. Third is Colin Tester. Side by side nearly for the lead. A challenge there by James Goodall to try and arrest the lead away, but he runs a bit wide in Hollywood, and that means that through on the inside goes Colin Tester to take second place. As they came down towards the old hairpin. Esther Cook, it's number 93 that was stalled at the start of the second row. He's now 14th. Call that 15th because the 116 car still isn't being shown on the timing screens.
Into the pit lane is our first pit visitor, but it's before the window has opened. Gary Littlewood at the wheel of car number 57, the Ford Fiesta. Had problems, if you recall, with a misfiring qualifying. He's come into the pit lane, and yet the car's misfiring once more.
Right, well, I hope they can. Thanks for that, Mark. I hope they can slot 116 in. Otherwise, once he makes his pit stop, it's going to get very confusing to find out exactly where they are. But anyway, he's at the moment in third place and challenging for second place. Out of the chicane. And it is Colin Tester then second. Ray Honeybone is up to third, and James Goodall, having attempted to take the lead at the start of the lap at Redgate, has now dropped down to fourth place. And there's a line of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars streaming through Redgate. James Goodall making a bid to repass Ray Honeybone as they go into the Craner curves. And they're being caught also, I think, by fifth place, or should I say fourth place, but actually fifth place, number 12, Scott Thompson. Yeah, I think what's happening is that the number 116 car is now being recorded, but it's not being recorded as the correct number of laps. It's a lap down, which it isn't. And those two are breaking away. Yes, they're being shown as being 2 laps down, but 116 is not 2 laps down. It is very much challenging for the lead. So Scott Parkin, Colin Tester, nose to tail. James Goodall back to third. Ray Honeybone down to fourth again, and he's got a train of another 4 cars lining up behind him, headed by number 12. Number 12, Scott Thompson, ahead of 53, Kevin Sterling's Clio. Then got 146, Simon Harrison's Clio, and number 2, currently being driven by Neil Clark. And Scott Parkin now beginning to settle down in the lead. He had a margin of, well, no, we're getting an artificial gap here because we're still not seeing the 116 car put in the right position. It is now. Well done to TSL. They've discovered where 116 ought to be. They put it second, and the gap first to second is 0.4 of a second. I'm glad that got done before the pit stops, because we would have been very confused otherwise. So Scott Parkin leads by 0.4 of a second from Colin Tester. Who's just done the fastest lap of the race actually at 1:22.465, just slightly quicker than Scott Parkin's fastest lap. Through come the leaders, just lapping the little Ford Puma number 4, Elliot Newman. Safety car being deployed. The reason being that there's a car that's spun off into the gravel on the outside of Redgate, very much in the firing line. Now the leaders were just lapping that Puma as the safety car was called, and obviously they were keen to get past it because they wouldn't want to have the Puma getting in their hair when the safety car was called back in. But somebody will get caught behind the Puma. Anyway, Snatch vehicle is now moving into action as all the cars pass the safety car board and the yellow flag at the start-finish line, so they know there's a reason to slow down and let the recovery team get on with the job of getting that car that's in the gravel out of the way. Not at the moment possible to identify which car that is, but swift job being done here by the recovery team. Last time around, James Goodall did the fastest lap Now down to 122.149. But the pit stop window isn't open yet, so they can't use this safety car period quite yet to come into the pits. Confirmation that 116, the reason for the problem of the car not being recorded, it hasn't got a working transponder. So the order is 113 in the lead from 116, Seat from Honda, and then Volkswagen, and then one of the many Clios, the Ray Honeybone car, in fourth place. Number 4, but number 4 is actually located in front of James Goodall, who I think was in 2 minds whether he could legitimately pass the Puma, but decided not to do so. So we've got a lapped car, the orange Puma, running as if in third place, when in fact it's a lap down. I think we'll find the safety car will be able to come in next time around. Coming back in, we've had it in once already, haven't we? Coming back in is the little yellow number 57 Ford Fiesta of Gary Littlewood, so whatever the problem is, it's not been sorted.
No, it's sort of plagued them all day, hasn't it, really? He came in and went through the process of taking all the HT leads off and then putting them all back on again and checking that everything was tight, and then it took a while to fire the car up again, and they went through the process a second time, and then when it did start, it sort of seemed to be running properly, but this car, which is new to Gary Littlewood, used to race in a Clio, this is the ex-Lewis Denslow car from last year, it's just been one of those days for him, unfortunately. And this time in, it looks as though it's retirement.
Yes, so disappointment then. We've got, I think, the probability of the pit window opening just about at the end of this safety car lap, which I think is going to be the last safety car lap. Or perhaps, no, it won't. Yep, it is open. So will they take the opportunity of coming in now to get the pit stop out of the way when the cars are still going relatively slowly? Into the pit lane comes the safety car anyway, and the 2 leaders carry on racing, so Parkin and Tester go through. And immediately the Puma is pounced upon and passed by the next couple of cars. Into the pits, a few cars have come. Won't try and call them all out. Jamie Ward's come in, number 77. 53 is also in the pits. That's the Kevin Sterling car, which actually has 2 drivers' names on the window, but only Kevin Sterling, I believe, is driving it today. So the leaders have stayed out.
Yeah, but a couple have come in. We've got the number 53 Renault Clio is in the pit lane. Kevin Sterling, of course, brand new car for him this weekend. We've got the car that's stalled on the grid. Kester Cook, number 93, the Ford Fiesta, is in. And the other car that was down towards the bottom of the pit lane, I think, was Jamie Ward, number 77.
Yes, it was.
He's down towards pit lane exit end.
Yes, you're right. Kester Cook had worked his way up to 13th place, having stalled and dropped down into the 20s. I think we'll have a lot more cars coming in this time. It may be a good move to have come in before the race got up to speed again. But not many cars took that option. Now it is back up to speed. The order still the top 2. The red Seat ahead of the Honda Colin Tester, separated by 0.4 of a second. James Goodall's Volkswagen Golf in 3rd place, number 47. In 4th place, Ray Honeybone's Clio in 5th place, number 147. Sorry, I mean 146. In 5th place is the Simon Harrison Renault Clio. Not many have come into the pits this time. The black Puma number 68 is in, of Matt Wright. Well, if they leave their pit stops much later, they're going to find a very congested pit lane. But if you want to go half and half, we're not yet halfway through. Still a good battle for the lead going on between the diesel-engined Sad Scott Parkin, Colin Tester, who's raced a great variety of cars in recent years, but it was first came to prominence with a Ford Sierra Cosworth. Leader leading 2 cars, complete lap 12. In third place, James Goodall at the Golf, 4th Ray Honeybone. Nose to tail, 5th and 6th, 66. Richard Clark just ahead of Simon Harrison's Clio. And then in 6th place, 69. Into the pits this time, we've got 143, the Clio of Neil Foster.
Yep, that's heading down towards pit lane exit end. Also the car number 182, Ollie Owens, Renault Clio 182, also came in that through. But they're the only 2 cars that have opted to pit on that particular lap so far, Ian.
Yeah, there's a lot of them are just going half and half, but solo drivers, of course, can stop any time. They haven't got to within the window, but that's the question of doing half and half for them. Well, Kester Cook, where's he dropped down to? Down to 28th place in the number 93 Ford as a result of his pit stop. New fastest lap set last time around by Simon Harrison in the 146 Clio. Leaders through. 13 laps completed. And into the pits this time we get the Mini number 2 of Neil Clark, which is in the top 10. Who's now in the pits doing its mandatory stop. And a driver change this will be, I think I'm right in saying, the first driver change we've had. It'll be Neil Clark to Andy Langley.
It will, absolutely. The 2 drivers who we've seen out racing in the Mini Challenge in the past. Car number 117 is also in. That's the solo-driven Honda Civic in the hands of Charles Harvey. So again, he just sort of sits patiently behind the wheel of the car, waits for the seconds to tick away. But whilst that's going on, the team will adjust tyre pressures, and they're also double-checking the torquing of the wheel nuts on those cars. But more cars are going to be coming in soon. I saw Sam Gay getting ready, which means that car number 116, driven by Colin Tester, that Honda Civic will be in shortly. And if I look towards pit lane entry end, I can see black overalls, silver crash helmet, which tells me that Jordan Honeybone is waiting to receive Dan. He's listening to the commentary. He's just waved to me as well.
Right, well that car's still very much in with a chance of winning this race. Maybe in 4th place at the moment. 5 seconds behind the leader is the gap. Through go the leaders. And it's the Honeybone car coming in now. The Clio in from 4th place. Ray Honeybone to hand over to son Jordan.
From 4th place, but yeah, Ray Honeybone sort of stops at garage number 6, whereas Jordan was stood at garage number 1. So a quick canter down the pit lane, and Jordan was in position really before that came to a halt, albeit a few garages further down. So seatbelts coming off, such are the way the regulations are written. There's no rush in these pit stops, is there? They have plenty of time to conduct the driver change. So Ray is out of the car. Remember, this is the driver pairing that won at the championship last year at the very final round, enthusiastically coming into the pit lane, the tail end of the car sliding round as Sean Andrews tried to take some speed off the number 27 Ford Fiesta coming into the pit lane. He's another one that stopped this time through, and also the renumbered car number 888 of Christopher Howes Roberts, the Integra DC5 is in.
Yeah, I'd still say fewer cars have come in than that are carrying on, so there's still the leading 2 cars have yet to stop. In fact, the leading 3 cars, because James Goodall's yet to stop his Golf either. So the Honeybones are going to be the leading pit stoppers once they rejoin, I reckon. There's the leader through, Scott Parkin. Now he's dropped back a bit, Colin Tester, on that lap. In fact, he's dropping back into the clutches of James Goodall. The 2 of them, the Honda, just ahead of the Golf as they head into Redgate. Scott Parkin's made a bit of a break. And 4th is 146 Simon Harrison's Renault Clio. like the drawing of the White Knight on the side of the White Knight racing car that's just come in. Pale blue car.
Car number 69 is it, and that's the one that I think the latter list that you had suggested that David Slater was on his own, but I can see actually the number 69 Honda Civic, there is a driver change going on.
Oh, right, okay, yes, well, just double check the list here. They crossed out Aaron Harding completely, but you think that perhaps you could check that after they've done this. This is the White Knight racing car, which says, today we witness the mighty one-eyed samurai return from the land of the rising sun to do battle with his western foes, the black winding tarmac battlegrounds, also known as the UK's best racetracks. Yeah. Will he be victorious?
Just to confirm, it is a driver change. David Slater did do the first stint. Aaron Harding just getting behind the wheel, and that's just been confirmed by Steve Hewson, who's sort of acting as team manager for them. Steve having won the 750 Motor Club Enduro Championship last year.
Is he the part of the samurai that are allegedly involved in this car, according to the notes I've got here?
I honestly don't know. Another front runner is in. It's Colin Tester that is in this time at the wheel of the number 116 Honda Civic. Sam Gay is waiting to receive that car, and also car number 146 is in, which is Simon Harrison's Renault Clio. Of course, he qualified inside the top 10.
Yeah, there's lots of cars coming in now. Staying out, however, is Scott Parkin. And James Goodall also staying out. They're the two leading cars now. And yet to stop also is number 45, Chris Payne's Caterham Super 7. Yeah, I'd say more cars have stopped now than not.
I'm going to walk over to the pit wall, which is where Ray Honeybone is, and grab a quick word if I can with Ray. Ray, great stint from you. Saw you right up there in a fantastic squabble for the lead.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, the Seat with the diesel, he just had to talk off the line and got in front, and then the other two behind me was holding us all up. We were all quicker than him, but just could not get past. I did try up in the back corner, the one after McLean's.
Coppice, yeah.
Yeah. Went for the inside and he turned in on me. We both went sideways and nearly off. How we both stayed on the track, I'm not sure. But the other two got through, but we were all up there. Then we had a back marker get in the middle of the safety car, so the front two got a little bit of a gap. But I have my secret weapon in the car now, so...
He's a quick young lad, isn't he?
He's very quick. He is very quick.
Learned everything he knows from Dad.
And a bit more.
Thanks for talking to us. There we go. Ray Honeybone has just handed over the Apple Car Centre Clio to his son Jordan.
And whilst we were having that conversation, into the pits has come 113, the race leader. This is the diesel Seat, Scott Parkin. So into the lead, because he's yet to stop, is James Goodall in the 47 Golf. And also yet to stop in the Caterham Super 7 is Chris Payne, number 45. He's moved up into second place. But just about everybody's into the pits now who hasn't already been in. But drive-through penalties, possibly for short pit stops. So number 88, which I think is meant to be 888 actually. That's Chris Howes-Roberts. And also number 117. So 117, Charles Harvey having a drive-through penalty. Yes, it's number 888, not 88. Number 888 that is required to take a drive-through penalty. Into the pits comes James Goodall, so the race leader is in. And we expect the Caterham Super 7 to come into the pits this time as well from second place, number 45, Chris Payne. Here he is. No, he's going on for another lap, so that the Caterham Super 7 now takes the lead.
So yeah, through is into lead Chris Payne. Back down pit lane goes erstwhile race leader Scott Parkin. So he will look to try and sort of reassert himself back up through the order as and when the remaining cars that haven't pitted eventually have to come in. There was another car that came back in. I saw the number 57 Gary Littlewood Ford Fiesta come back in, and as he came into pit lane entry this time, that's the car that's been plagued by misfires. Gary was putting his sort of hand across the throat and has headed all the way down pit lane into paddock and absolutely into retirement this time.
Oh dear. All right, well, it sounds, as you say, a troubled day. So Chris Payne leads in the Lotus, keep on calling it a Lotus because that's what they're based on, a Caterham Super 7. Into the pits comes 56. That's Phil Burden. He's making his stop now. He'd risen to third place actually, with the pit stops ahead of him. yet to stop also number 99 is Paul Burns' Ford Fiesta.
I'm going to grab a quick word with another driver whilst we're here, because Colin Tester is alongside me. Colin, what a squabble you were having at the wheel of your Civic.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I got a pretty good start, and obviously I think there's sort of four of us there, all dicing for position. I was trying to nip into the lead, didn't quite happen. My Beaver, I think, has had so much torque, it's turbocharged. But yeah, it was really good fun. It was nice to mix it up with the B cars there and keep that get a bit of gap on that C-Class Clio. So I really enjoyed it.
Handed the car over to Sam, and Sam, under your tutorage over the last few years, has become a very quick peddler.
Yeah, he has. I mean, when we first got together, he was maybe 1.5, 2 seconds off, and then he's closing the gap, which is getting a bit worried about, so I'll have to up again. But yeah, a really good pair up with me and Sam, really enjoying it. And it's obviously, I really appreciate those guys inviting me along to drive their car, and Sam's dad put it with the hospitality and all the rest of it, so we love being with those G&M guys.
Fingers crossed for a result.
Thank you, cheers.
There we go, that's Colin Tester, who's handed over car number 116 now to Sam Gay.
Thanks, Mark. Yes, so we'll need another lap or two for the order to unravel, after the effect of the pit stops to unravel, but yet to stop is number 99, but I don't think he's gone back into the lead, actually, or gone into the lead, number 99. But that has yet to stop Paul Burns' Ford Fiesta. I think we may find that, I don't know, he could have briefly inherited the lead. The Caterham Super 7 has come in. And another car with a drive-through penalty is number, well, it was shown as 25, but it's gone off the screen again. Here's 99 into the pits, the green Fiesta. That had its brief moments of glory, one lap in front. But now making its pit stop, and that is the last pit stopper, actually. So everybody has made their pit stop. Yes, that brief glimpse of 25 getting a drive-through penalty, a 2-second. It's not a drive-through, it's a 2-second stop-go penalty for car 25. That's the, started by Tom Starkey, now driven by Rob Burnham, Ford Fiesta. And they're down in 18th place. So next time around, we'll get a clear impression of what the race order has become. There's James Goodall going through. I think he's second behind Scott Parkin in the diesel Seat Ibiza.
Having briefly inherited the lead, Chris Payne brings his Caterham 7 back down pit road, which doesn't quite as yet leave us with an empty pit lane. There is just the one car now, which again, as you said, was briefly in the lead. The Ford Fiesta of Paul Burns is the only car that's now on pit road.
Yes, in fact, he won't appear on the top of this timing because of the late stop also by Chris Payne in the Caterham Super 7. But that won't rejoin in the lead either. I reckon we've now got 113 Scott Parkin back in front. James Goodall in the Golf behind him, 1.8 seconds behind him. Those are the two who I think will unravel as being the first two cars, with third place Sam Gay in the ex-Colin Tester Honda Civic,
which will still be leading its class then, if that's the case, won't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Class C. Class B is headed by 113. James Goodall second in Class B. It's classes B and C that are up in the top places. There's the Scott Parkin car through, but a long way back. In fact, 6 seconds behind is James Goodall in the Golf. So that gap's gone up. So Scott Parkin now, after 20 laps, leads by 6.4 seconds in car number 113, the red Seat from 47, the Volkswagen Golf of James Goodall. In third place is Sam Gay now in number 116 Honda. In fourth place, believe it or not, is 93 Kester Cook. Now, he qualified fourth. He was anything but fourth into Redgate at the start after he fluffed his start, but he's now climbed his way back into fourth place, Kester Cook. He stopped very early in the window, and that may have helped him. Stopped straight after the safety car, didn't he? So he's fourth now, number 93, Kester Cook. And he was right on the tail of Sam Gay as he started the next lap. So I have a feeling he may well be third next time through. And then behind him in fifth place is 146 Simon Harrison. In sixth place is 44 Jordan Honeybone. In seventh place, number 2, now Andy Langley. In 8th place is number 888, Chris Howes Roberts. In 9th place, number 34, Alistair Lindsay. And in 10th place, number 182, Ollie Owens, Ollie Sport Clio. Pit windows closed, but everybody has made their pit stop. And we have 12 and a quarter minutes of the race remaining. But it does seem to be going the way of the red diesel engine Seat Ibiza. The gap to James Goodall in second place has remained much the same. Kester Cook in third place. Simon Harrison in fourth place now, number 146. And Sam Gay has dropped down to fifth, number 116. And Jordan Honeybone, how's he getting on? He's in sixth place in the number 44 car. But not at the moment, looking as though he's going to be able to improve on that. But the impressive performance, Kester Cook up into third place now from that poor start. It's probably the driver of the race, actually, that. So 113 leads by 6 1/4 seconds. Completes lap 22. Here's the Golf in second place of James Goodall, and the gap has come down a little, 5.8 seconds. And Kester Cook is lapping half a second quicker than James Goodall, so Kester Cook actually could end up second. Can't see him catching the leader unless the leader has problems in the remaining 10 3/4 minutes. But it really has been a very impressive performance considering how many cars he's had to overtake. There's the Caterham Super 7 number 45 going through. Now where's that? That's in 11th place at the moment, Chris Payne, having been briefly a leader. Jordan Honeybone in 6th place. Perhaps catching Sam Gay a little, but he's still got to make up 10 seconds or so on the Honda. Don't know that 25 has taken its stop-go penalty yet. It's not showing us having made a second pit stop. So 25 in 15th place still needs to take its penalty. Leader through, number 113, its distinctive diesel sound. Completing lap 23, there is James Goodall's second. There is the SPD Kester Cook Ford Fiesta in third place. The gap's come down a little bit more, 1.9 seconds, second to third. And behind them, and not lapping quicker though, is Simon Harrison, number 146 in fourth place. Fifth place is Sam Gay, 116. In sixth place, 44, Jordan Honeybone. He is catching Sam Gay, but it's at the rate of about a second a lap. He may run out of laps. In seventh place is number 2. Number 2 in seventh place, now being driven by Andy Langley. In eighth place, number 34, Alistair Lindsay. In ninth place, Chris Howes-Roberts, number 888. And in 10th place, 182, is Ollie Owen. 8.5 minutes remain. The lead that Scott Parkin had over James Goodall last time through was 5.9 seconds. Here's the leader once more. And second and third through. James Goodall, Kester Cook, lights ablaze. The gap doesn't seem to go. It's come down a little bit more, 1.59 seconds now. And Simon Harrison is only just a little more than that, a little less than that behind Kester Cook. So we've got actually 3 cars now lining up in the fight for the final podium position, or possibly even second place, the second best podium position. So 47, 93, 146 are the 3 to watch out for. 3 for 2 places on the podium, with Scott Parkin still being caught but not rapidly enough. He's 5 seconds ahead with the 7.5 minutes to go. And we've got more news here. Another car getting a 2-second stop-go penalty is 182, Ollie Owen, and a 4-second stop-go penalty for 143, Neil Foster. So, just to repeat that, 2-second stop-go penalty for cars 25 and now 182 as well, for 4-second stop-go penalty for 143. They're all for short pit stops. The enthusiasts to get back into the race, they mistimed. The leaders through, and we've got just 1 second now between James Goodall and Kester Cook in second and third places. 2.6 seconds. It's got up a bit there between Simon Harris and Kester Cook ahead of him. And the lead, Scott Parkin's lead, is now down to 4.3 seconds. So the pressure on James Goodall from behind, from Kester Cook, is bringing the pair of them and taking Simon Harrison with them closer and closer to Scott Parkin in the lead. 6 minutes to go. Could be for a very close finish here. And coming in to take its stop-go penalty is the number 143 Clio, right down to the bottom end of the pit lane, where the man with the yellow flag, also down the pit lane, number 9, but that's not being penalised as far as the screen's telling me, but maybe it has, I don't know. No, it's going to its pit. So 143 has done as required, done its stop-go penalty. First to second, it doesn't seem that long ago. That was a gap in almost double figures. It's now down to 3.8 seconds first to second. It's down to 0.8 of a second, second to third. But Simon Harris is falling away.
Yeah, the reason for the number 9 car heading down pit lane, I just had a quick word with Stephen Kelly, because of course it's Sean Haverall that's behind the wheel of it at the moment. They think that Sean misinterpreted the signal for a penalty and thought it was for him.
Yes, that's something we saw yesterday as well. It's a problem when the cars are running in groups and the marshal has to show the flag to the car, regardless of those others around him. The driver needs to know his competition number. So the lead down to 3.8 seconds of Scott Parkin, 4.5 minutes to go. And Kester Cook is less than a second behind, or as he started this lap anyway, less than a second behind James Goodall. But Simon Harrison seems to be dropping out of it now, despite having set the fastest lap of the race. Here's the leader then, goes through, and here are the second and third place cars, the Golf ahead of the blazing lights of the Ford Fiesta. First to second, the gap still just over 3 seconds, 3.7 seconds. Second to third, half a second. But still 25, I reckon 25 hasn't yet taken its stop go. Law has 182. It's running in 9th place. It's just gone up into 9th place, so instead of paying its penalty, it's gained a place. So 113 Scott Parkin leads in the diesel there to beat. The 117 comes in. That's not down for a penalty according to the screen. But it's doing a drive-through. That's Charles. Oh, he was for a penalty earlier on, wasn't he? Charles Harvey. Anyway, he's gone through. And I reckon that was for a penalty, and he's gone straight drive-through, no stop and go, but still to take a stop and go at 25 and 182.
Well, certainly for Ollie Owen, I think the 3 team members on the pit wall were all waving at him, beckoning him towards the pit wall. So if he missed the flag at the start-finish line, he must surely have seen the team, who were very animated that time through.
Right, well, 50 comes in. Is this a drive-through? Yes, it is, I think. So the Puma, number 50, goes through. I've now Mike Rogers. Rebecca started in that car. Three and a half seconds between the top 2, 0.8 of a second between second and third. Time running out then, 2.25 minutes remain. So the lap they're on plus 2 more possibly. There's the Caterham through. That is, that's number 45, that is currently in 12th place. Class leaders, well, Class B is led by the race leader. Class C is led by Simon Harrison. He's 8 seconds clear of second in Class B, number 146, then second in Class C. And Class D is headed by number 25. Now that's a car with a penalty, isn't it? So that could affect the outcome there. It's shown as being in first place in Class D, but it does have a penalty, which it hasn't yet taken. 2.6 seconds is the gap now, first to second. I think they'll get one more lap in after this one, but Kester Cook has made it through to second place. Sorry, I should have picked up on that. I was looking at the other business. So 93 Kester Cook is now in second place. He's 2.6 seconds behind Scott Parkin. It'll be the drive of the day, this, by Kester Cook, if he does. Well, it is anyway to get to second place, considering what happened at the start. But he is on course for a win. If there's one, particularly if there's one more lap in the race. So Scott Parkin has led really all the way apart from the pit stop part of the race in the Seat Ibiza. Can he hang on right to the end? Waiting for a red Seat to appear. Or the colourful Ford Fiesta. There they are, going through to start the lot. Oh, the flag's gone out. There was a couple of seconds on the clock, but the flag has gone out slightly early. But the result then goes in favour of number 113. So Scott Parkin is the winner, 2.6 seconds at the flag ahead of Kester Cook. And in third place, James Goodall, number 47. In fourth place, winning Class C, number 146, Simon Harrison. And in fifth place, number 116, the Colin Tester, and then Sam Gay, Honda Civic. Second place in Class C to them. So the top 3 finishers finish in the first 3 places in Class B. Fourth and fifth, first and second in Class C. Third in Class C, number 182, Ollie Owen, but he's also got a penalty. So not quite sure where that is going to be resolved, how that's going to be resolved. Just in sixth place after the Honda of Sam Gay and Colin Tester. In sixth place, number 44, the Honeybones, Ray and Jordan Honeybone. In seventh place, number 2, Neil Clark and Andy Langley's Mini Cooper S. In eighth place, number 34, the Alistair Lindsay Volkswagen Golf. In ninth place, number 182, the Ollie Owen Renault Clio, which may or may not have won Class D. Sorry, Class C. That was in third place, possibly. In 10th place, overall, number 888, Chris Howes Roberts Honda Integra. 11th, number 53, Kevin Sterling's Renault Clio. 12th place, number 45, Chris Payne's Caterham Super 7. So Scott Parkin makes his way into the pits, down pit lane. But a tremendous drive by Kester Cook after that almost stall at the start. dropped him into the 20s, but he worked his way up into second place at the flag.